What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be talking about the Halloween Ends trailer and what I've gathered from it, what I think is going to possibly happen. We're going to talk about the movie, not in super depth, but more so than the trailer actually was. So let's take a look at the trailer, and you see where it begins. It's showing a street on Haddonfield, in Haddonfield, not on Haddonfield, in Haddonfield, with kids out trick-or-treating, and quickly we're shifted into a house it's not lit up, but it's decorated for the holiday. We see Michael's breathing, we hear Michael's breathing. We see him going up a set of stairs, and that all of a sudden he opens a door in the house, revealing Laurie Strode to be inside holding a gun at his face. We then cut to a quick moment where Michael and Laurie fight in what looks like a kitchen, and we get a brief montage of all new characters either turning around, gasping, or witnessing Michael Myers for the first time, I'd assume. After that, we get a snippet of the original 1978's Halloween of Laurie looking back at Michael Myers. We then see a scene of Laurie as well as her granddaughter from Halloween 2018, as well as Halloween Kills, only to once again get a 1978 clip of Laurie's face when she was walking down the sidewalk early on in the film. And as for the last 10 to 15 seconds of the trailer, we get to see Laurie and Michael fight. And what we see is that Laurie almost has her hand put down a garbage disposal in the sink, which is actually terrifying to me. I could not imagine having that happen. But she gets free, and we see her even stab Michael in his hand with his own knife. So that is what we witness in the trailer for Halloween Ends. It's only about a minute and a half long. It's really not anything insane. After we see him get stabbed in his hand with his own knife, we're shown the title of the movie, which is Halloween Ends, as well as October 14th as the release date for the movie. Everything really happens so fast. You need to watch it more than once. You need to pause it and actually look around to see what's happening. It is all so just wonderfully done, and I think that it's awesome because you knew there was going to be a fight between Laurie and Michael. You know there's supposed to be this massive fight. It's Halloween Ends. There's going to be something insane that hopefully we've never seen before. Hopefully, right? Well, what I think is going to be interesting about this trailer is we don't really get a story. So the story still is kind of like hidden for now, although the story has been revealed by Universal and it is out there in the world. But so before we get into telling the story of it all, I just want to point out, what does Halloween Ends really mean, and whether or not it means, the franchise is over, because I, by every means necessary, doubt we'll never get a Michael Myers movie again. Is it the end of Laurie Strode? I think so. That's the thing. Jamie Lee Curtis has said countless times that she isn't coming back. And I know we've had Laurie Strode return as not Jamie Lee Curtis in the Rob Zombie movies, but I truthfully do think that this will be the end of Laurie Strode. They'll retire the character. And I think that that's what this movie means, is it's the end of Halloween as we've ever known it to be, Our main character will not come back, and that's it. Now, with that being said, does Laurie die? That's the question. So before we get into that, we're going to go down all the names of the characters that, I wouldn't say main characters, but are characters that you know the name of that we've seen in the Halloween movies prior that have somehow survived, because not a lot of them have. Realistically, Halloween Kills killed a lot of our characters. So let's take a look at who has survived and who hasn't. We first, of course, have Laurie Strode, our main girl, right? That's our lady right there. We then have Allison Nelson, which is Laurie's granddaughter. Deputy Frank Hawkins, who we were introduced to in Halloween 2018, who we've enjoyed very much as a character. We have Sheriff Barker, who was also introduced in 2018's Halloween, who I actually really like. And then we have Lindsay Wallace, who was the little girl from the original Halloween, who she came back and was in Halloween Kills. We never saw her die. So, she's out there. What's going to happen to her? So, with that being said, I do have an idea of what could happen with these characters. But before that, I want to just read off what the storyline, the premise of this movie is, at least what was released by Universal so far, and that is that Halloween Ends takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, which is a massive time jump for Halloween. It's really just this huge jump in time. It's also said that Laurie and Allison lived together in Haddonfield, and that Laurie's actually writing about her life and her memoirs, like she's writing a book, which is interesting, actually. And that she's now past her issues with Michael, and she's learning to move on in life. But that there is a teenage boy named Corey Cunningham, who's accused of killing a boy that he was watching, or babysitting, should I say. And that kind of freaks Laurie out. And with everything going on in town, it reignites this flame inside Laurie that what if it was Michael, and that this kid, Corey, is telling the truth, that he didn't do it, kind of aspect, which is interesting to say the least, because I don't think we've seen that with Halloween just yet, to the degree that I feel like this movie will take it in. Do I think that it's gonna be like game-changing for the horror genre? I don't. But I think that this movie is going to definitely be what we're hoping it will be. I think it's an interesting way to bring Michael back 4 years later. And I feel like there needs to be some sort of answer to it all. Like, really, where did Michael go for 4 years? And that'll be, I think, the most interesting thing that they have to do with this. And I know that the main reason they're doing this is because of COVID and all that. There wasn't supposed to be a 4-year time jump, but with how much time was wasted because of COVID, we had to have it, which is kind of shitty. It sucks. It really does. But anyways, with that being said, we now know everything that Universal's released storyline-wise. So for those characters, there's 5 of them? Laurie, Allison, Frank, Sheriff Barker, and Lindsay. Yeah. So for the 5 characters that have survived through Halloween Kills that we know of, that are really kind of big characters, where do I think what do I think will happen with them? Do they survive? Do they die? And so let's start off with Laurie Strode, actually, our main character, Jamie Lee Curtis. Do I think Laurie will survive Halloween Ends? The answer is no. I think that Laurie Strode dies with Michael at the end of this movie, that they get into a massive fight that we do witness parts of in the trailer. And I think that in the end, she and Michael both die. Allison, I think Allison survives. I think that what happens is Michael breaks into Laurie and Allison's house. Allison is there. Laurie's not. Laurie's out with Frank Hawkins, the deputy Frank Hawkins, who they've been relatively close with for the entirety of the new trilogy so far. And I think that Michael is about to kill Allison, but Laurie and Frank Hawkins save her, and Frank dies as well, trying to save Allison. So I think Frank dies trying to save Allison. Laurie comes across it and is like, oh shit, runs upstairs into the house where, we see in the beginning of the trailer that Michael walks up the stairs and Laurie's in there with a gun. I'm not too sure if that's going to be like the very end of it. You know what I mean? It's all very, who the hell knows kind of thing. Or maybe even the walking up upstairs is a dream sequence for Laurie. Like, who even knows? You know what I mean? It's also like, anything is possible with a 4-year time jump. That's the issue. But I think that what we'll get is Allison at home doing something by herself. Frank and Laurie come home. Frank is killed early on, trying to get Allison away from Michael. Allison escapes outside. Laurie and Michael have their final battle inside the house, where both of them die, So Laurie, Michael, and Frank Hawkins all die in the main, portion of the ending of this film. Meanwhile, Allison is outside and she's not sure what the hell to do. She's freaking out. People are out on their porches. All of a sudden, Sheriff Barker comes up. He's got paramedics. He's got first responders. All of them, all freaking out because neighbors calling and da-da-da-da-da. And they know about Michael existing and that he's been gone for 4 years, but who the hell knows? And so he shows up. He survives meeting Allison outside the house and everything. First responders go in, find all 3 dead bodies inside of Laurie Strode's house. And that's kind of how the movie ends, where Allison must learn to live with what has happened. Of course, Michael being dead now, but, I mean, anything's possible, right? I mean, who the hell knows? As for Lindsay, I actually think because she's such a she's not really indispensable. She can die. I mean, they killed off Tommy, who was a bigger character than Lindsay. So I feel like Lindsay is going to be a character who dies early into this movie, and she's an easily forgettable character. I think that she might be close with Laurie and Allison, and that we might witness her like over their house early in the movie, and then she'll leave, and Michael will kill her. And it'll be like, oh my god, what the hell? And that might be, what drives Laurie into thinking maybe Michael's back and it's not this kid Corey Cunningham who's being accused for all of this. Who the heck knows? Realistically, everything I've said has zero credibility to it. It's all just me trying to think what could possibly happen with that 4-year time jump. I don't know a damn thing, and that's the thing, neither do you. And that it's interesting. It's like, what really is going to happen here? Like, we don't know. We have no idea. And so it all just, it's all just one big waiting game until October 14th. So I cannot wait for October 14th. Hopefully you guys are just as interested. If you want to check out the trailer after having watched this video, if you haven't seen the trailer, that's kind of crazy to have watched this, but if you want to check out the trailer for yourself, the link is in the description below. And as the movie gets closer, if we are given more closer to release date, I'll go ahead and talk about it if I deem it worthy of talking about. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.